Batman y Robin son el dúo dinámico y ayudan a la gente cuando cunde el pánico. Si ya no te queda ninguna esperanza, debes tener la suficiente confianza para tomar el teléfono y hacer un llamado al conocido y servicial justiciero encapotado. Y verás que el murciélago demuestra sin demora que a todos los villanos les ha llegado su hora. Nuevos episodios en La Hora de Batman, de lunes a viernes en Fox.
The Lost World. I'm here to kind of show you some things about the film, discuss some ideas, and point out some of the things like this fabulous structure here, the bone structure, and just kind of break the ice where this film's concerned with you guys, on the hush, on the DL, under the hat. No one else knows kind of thing. Welcome to E's 1 Hour Special on the Lost World Jurassic Park. I'm Vince Vaughn. Again, we're here at Universal Studios. Behind me, you'll see part of the set that was used and is actually part of the Lost World Island that is somewhere off of Costa Rica. And this set here, along with a lot of others, were very instrumental in the completion of this film and fabulous tale of the Lost World.
It's a ripping yarn. And if you're going to do one of those, you might as well do it with the maestro. You might as well do it with Mr. Spielberg.
Yes, Steven Spielberg is back with an explosive new adventure. In the next hour, we'll explore the making of the Lost World Jurassic Park, from its new cast of characters
Come on. In here.
to the new and improved dinosaurs.
Smaller, more economical, but lethal. When inhaled.
We'll learn how the dinosaurs made it to the screen.
Stan Winston built these really incredible animatronics that were quite lifelike.
I said to Stan one day, I said, what if I put my fingers? He said, don't. It will bite your fingers off.
Plus, we'll show you how to experience the Lost World outside of the theater. From merchandise to Jurassic Park the ride.
Awesome!
It's all ahead as E takes you behind the scenes of the most anticipated movie of the summer.
You'll go, oh, that's everything I wanted to see more of from the first one. But wow, I didn't think that was going to be in it. And that's not only scary, but that's funny and delightful.
Now, before we go any further, let's learn a little bit about the host of our show, actor Vince Vaughn.
Do some volunteer work with Greenpeace once in a while.
Greenpeace, what drew you there?
Women.
Vaughn plays Nick Van Owen, a video documentarian sent to capture the dinosaurs of the Lost World visually.
Let's start off by talking about how Steven Spielberg describes you. It's got to be one of the most flattering things ever to happen to you. He's looking for the new American icon, and he picks you.
Very flattering, you know, especially coming from Steven, a guy I have a lot of respect for, and was flattered that he even included me in this movie. You know, I was just happy to be a part of it, man, really. I was just excited to be a part of something like this, you know, like a big comic book. So, you know, for him to say that about me was really nice.
Steven Spielberg handpicked Vaughn after catching a glimpse of him in the 1996 film Swingers.
Now look it, when you go up to talk to her, man, I don't want you to be the guy in the PG-13 movie everyone's really hoping makes it happen. I want you to be like the guy in the rated R movie, you know? The guy you're not sure whether or not you like yet. You're not sure where he's coming from, okay? You're a bad man. You're a bad man. You're a bad man. Bad man.
By the time Swingers became the toast of the Venice Film Festival last summer, Vaughn was already gearing up for his trip to the Lost World.
And I'm absolutely looking forward to it. You know, it's like a dream come true for me to be working with Steven Spielberg. You know, I grew up as a kid watching his films and being blown away by him like a lot of people. So I feel like I'm going to school in a large respect and going to get an education.
Thanks. Noble.
Yeah. Well, Noble was last year. This year I'm getting paid. His check cleared.
He's so crazy and so great. He made me laugh about as much, if not more, than anybody ever on a movie. He's very wild, very, very wild. On our trip over to Hawaii, where we shot some of the thing, he was, before we had taken off, he took the headphones out of his plastic bag, took the plastic bag, put it over his head, and was grotesquely breathing in and out. The stewardess, who was kind of said, I don't think that's funny, sir. Please put that away. And he started yelling, I won't be good, I won't be good. He's a wild.
Action.
All right, now she must be nearby, so if we split up, we'll be able to cover more ground.
No. Predators look for strays that have split off from the group. Stay together.
Well, listen, we'll stay close to each other then.
Now, you're riding a big wave of success right now, man, with Swingers and following it up with this. Has it just been a look back at the past year and tell me what goes through your head?
I just feel blessed. You know, I've been out here for a long time before I had the opportunities that Swingers gave me. And so I really, really appreciate and feel blessed for the opportunities I have now. I know what it's like, you know, not to have an agent and not even have an opportunity to try to have a chance to get a part. So now to be given these great opportunities, I'm really just trying to take full advantage of them and just enjoy myself and learn from them and, you know, try to find new things that will interest me. Now I'm going to search the folders on this side of the screen, but listen, one of you guys stay in the center, the other one search the other thing. Now,
did it all come to a head when you got the call that you were going to be part of the Lost World project?
I mean, that's definitely a big step in everything, you know, and one that was very exciting for me, for sure, you know. But again, I think if you put your focus on that, you can kind of cheat yourself out of the experience, you know. It's like if you make it something better than yourself or greater than yourself, you kind of have this way of handling it versus, you know, I want to be a part of this, I want to be included in this, I want to experience this. And I felt like I did that with this film, and I'm glad that I did.
And the excitement continued for the entire cast, crew, and their celebrated guests who turned out to see the dinosaurs stampede across the screen at a sneak preview.
What are you expecting to see here tonight?
Well, apparently Stephen didn't think there was a big scare soon enough. So I'm expecting a big scare soon.
Jeff Goldblum, you know, being brilliant and funny as always.
Walt Disney once told me, I said, what's the secret to your movies? He said, because kids love to be scared. It's a delicious feeling. They love it. And that's why he always put witches and things in his movies. And Spielberg has the same secret.
I'm told the dinosaurs are even more extraordinary and fabulous and more believable ever, and so I'm looking forward to all that.
I'm expecting big excitement tonight. Big excitement. I'm a big dinosaur fan.
We introduced dinosaurs in Jurassic Park. In Lost World, they act like you've never seen. They have a much greater range of performance. They're better actors.
What are you thinking, like, seeing it with this kind of a crowd?
I don't know. It'll be really interesting. I actually saw it about a week and a half ago, but with about 20 people. So this is a completely different experience for me. I'm kind of curious to see what it'll be like.
You know, it was like a 3-month process, so to sit back and see what the hell happened with all the work we did is exciting.
I was imagining seeing it with people, because I do that anyway. I sneak in the back of theaters once it's open. I think people are going to go nuts.
More raptors. That's what I want.
More of those big-ass dinosaurs.
I'm looking forward to seeing Vince Vaughn because I think he is so attractive in a, you know, cerebral sort of way. And I'm looking forward to seeing bigger, better, and more dinosaurs than ever.
Coming up next,
Oh, the harnesses.
find out how the cast held up in the Lost World.
We get mixed up with dinosaurs in the most hair-raising, fun, and scary way imaginable.
We have some clips and stuff that we haven't been allowed to show anybody until now. So please stay tuned and watch some of these fabulous, raw dinosaur things. Back to E's 1 Hour Special on the Lost World. I'm Vince Vaughn, and we're here to kind of show you some things about the Lost World. Here you got some bones from a dinosaur. Maybe it's in the movie, I don't know. Here you got the Bates Motel, not in the movie, but people were killed in the shower in here. And it's got nothing to do with this except what we learned is that people are nice neighbors at Universal, and they love to share. Because without that, there's no filmmaking. This is probably the most anticipated film of 1997, maybe of all time. Maybe I'm bragging a little bit because I'm kind of sweet on the film. I'm a little partial to it. But anyway, we have some clips and some footage and some things that we can't wait to show you that we weren't able to show you until now. So sit tight, grab your snacks, and just try to be happy. Stay happy.
A British family on a yacht cruise stumbled upon Site B.
What could possibly lure people back to the land of dinosaurs? Well, there's an island, one we didn't see in the first movie.
Hopefully we've kept this island quarantined and contained, but I'm in shock about all this.
Where there is a lost world, it turns out, that my character didn't know about, that is a prehistoric island, as if prehistoric because it's ruled by and exclusively inhabited by dinosaurs, if you can imagine such a thing. It's 4 years later, and my character, the people that he cares about are in danger, and he, you know, goes headlong into this crisis to help out, and is trying to talk sense into people who have not been there before.
If you wanted to rescue me from something, why didn't you bail me out of that fundraiser at the museum 3 weeks ago like you said you would?
There's a slightly different situation.
Julianne Moore plays Jeff Goldblum's girlfriend.
She's a paleontologist whose specialty is animal behavior, most specifically the nurturing behavior of dinosaurs. So of course she's very excited because this is something that she can actually study now rather than, do it in the flesh rather than from all the bones and everything. So
Nurturing is one of the themes of The Lost World.
Shoot him! She's just protecting her baby!
And Jeff Goldblum's character, Ian Malcolm, gets a little more than he bargained for when his daughter joins the expedition.
You know, Sarah has a pretty good...
It's so important to the future that you not finish that sentence, please. It's privacy outside.
Kelly is about 12 years old, the same age as me. She plays Jeff Goldblum's daughter, and she's very outgoing, kind of ambitious, won't take anything from anybody.
Together, they're joined by Richard Schiff and Vince Vaughn in their quest to study this lost world. But they're not alone.
Let's get this movable feast underway.
You put together one group of hunters and another group of dinosaur advocates. So these two groups come together. It's more than just running from dinosaurs. There's a lot of human drama in this one.
And cut! Roland Tembo is like the last of the philosopher hunters, really. He plays it by the book. He would never dream of going on safari in a jeep. He tracks by foot and by scent and by sense, and he's in fact pretty disillusioned when you first meet him. He doesn't want to do any more of that. He's done it all. There are no real targets left anymore in the world. He's got them all, done them all, shot them all. But he is tempted by the carrot of possibly trekking a T-Rex. And the climb down won't be easy. We'll let him sleep another hour, and then we hit it.
The idea of being inside a prehistoric world that exists somewhere in this world today, that really compelled me. And I thought, wow, what a great story.
You know what the best thing about shooting this movie is that Steven, a lot of the sequences don't have dialogue because they're action sequences, and he loves those sequences because he directs them like a silent movie, So you're literally out there with the elements, possibly a dinosaur, we don't know what, whatever that point in the movie is, and he'll go, now there's a dinosaur coming up behind you, and you turn around and go, where? Or, you know what I mean? And then he goes, okay, there's one to your left, and you have to look, and so he's almost got one of those old director megaphones, which he does have actually, sometimes if he's far away. And he's like, okay, now this happens, and now the gun goes off, and whatever it is. So, and then you'll just stop for a second, and there'll be a moment then, and he goes, what are you going to do next?
Excellent, good, very, very good.
I met Steven a few years ago. He saw me do a small part in the movie, and he flew me to California to meet with me and said that he liked my work and wanted to work with me someday. And I thought, fine, great, wow. But I never really expected that it would happen. So when he called me about this, I was thrilled.
Remember, hang on to the rope too. You can't be relying on your safety lines. You got to be pretending like you're hanging onto the rope. But still, with all that body isometric, motion, still turn away and give me the closed eye thing, and give me the shoulders up around the ears for the explosion, and the imagining all the debris hitting you on all sides. It's going to be a big deal.
He approaches the filmmaking with a very childlike point of view and enthusiasm, and you see it through those eyes.
There's a transition. Great. We got it. Great.
The cast Spielberg gathered shared his childlike enthusiasm.
Vince is so cool. He's just like a little kid. He was really bad. He was always playing tricks on everybody and cracking jokes. And every time I would have to do a scene where I had to be serious, and he was off camera, he would be doing all this funky stuff off camera, and all this crazy stuff, and I'd be like, stop it. And during the movie, when we watched it on Thursday, I'd be sitting, I'd be like, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen? And he'd go like that, and I'd jump. And I'm like, come on, Vince, stop.
Between him and Jeff, and I'm very quiet in the morning, and we would go in the van to location every morning, and it was Jeff, Julianne, Vince, and myself on many days, and those three are up and awake and singing first thing in the morning, and I'm in the back row trying to hide and trying to sleep. They're very energetic people.
Oh! Wow. Oh,
Practical.
It was a fun set, that's for sure.
Even the dinosaurs were lively.
Between takes, guys would be carrying big potted plants, you know, to make the background better, or people would be working around the dinosaur, and they kept the dinosaur alive, eating, you know. And like some guy would walk by, the dinosaur would follow him, you know what I mean? And you'd see the fluid in the eyes and the eye movements and the muscular movements. And the fact that they kept it alive just gave me something to gawk at. So that when we actually shot it, even though the dinosaur wasn't alive at that point, I had already remembered what it was just a stunning sight.
Still ahead.
Oh, it was sloppy.
Get the dirt on working with dinosaurs.
Stan Winston built these really incredible animatronics that were quite lifelike and expressive.
And working on dinosaurs.
Did they adjust defensively in the different positions? Or they just sort of... do that if you want. Oh, we could.
Plus, we've got a special preview of what happens when Dino hits the stores.
It's weird. I never thought I was going to be a little action figure. But once I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh!
Don't go away.
Welcome back again to East Special on the Lost World Jurassic Park. Do you like the dinosaurs, the big lizards? Because he's got them, and they got a lot of them. Here's some more of the fabulous set that they used in making the film. Now, the dinosaurs can be a lot of fun to look at and to watch do their antics during the course of the film. But sometimes they can take a turn for the bad and bring some negativity to the other kids on the island.
Don't move! Lucky for us, dinosaurs only roam the earth on film. That being the case, how do you act alongside one? For actor Jeff Goldblum, it was nothing new. He was in the first Jurassic Park. But what about the rest of the cast?
Jeff's so sweet. He was great. He was really good, like, because before we started working, I would call him and be like, Jeff, how is it reacting to nothing? And he would explain to me, well, they'll tell you where to look, and they'll show you what you are trying to react to, and if they don't like it, they'll ask you for more or less, and you'll slide right into it, trust me.
Very rarely did we have to act with nothing. I mean, Stan Winston built these really incredible animatronics that were quite lifelike and expressive and had personalities and were emotive and were present. So there was no problem working with them at all.
I think the hardest is just kind of the whole technical side of it. You can't stand certain places because they're going to draw the computer animated stuff in later. You have to, you know, physically do these actions, but you can't have to do them at a certain time and this type of thing. The challenge doesn't come as much from the acting and the line delivery. You know, it comes from working together with the technical sides of things to make a believable situation where you have human beings interacting with dinosaurs.
But that wasn't the only challenge on the set.
They're pushing us over the cliff.
It was pretty arduous physically. It was more demanding than I'd anticipated. I mean, Stephen asked me if I was athletic, and I said, you know, yeah, I run, I do, you know, whatever. I mean, because you think it's a movie, you know, what's going to be required, and much, much more was required than I thought.
The first thing is you start by looking up. I'll do this on a count, well, not even on a count. When I just say when I say begin, you'll just be looking up at the trailer coming down around you. And when the trailer comes around you, it's interesting because it's kind of like being in an elevator.
Yeah.
Or it's actually it's being the shaft with the elevator moving.
Right.
Many elevators moving on both sides of you. So you guys would start by looking up, then you would look off to the left, right, but quickly, because this whole thing is moving.
My stunt double, actually, Cinda James, who's so wonderful, actually said to me that the stuff that I do in the movies is usually the stuff that she does. And then she was bumped up yet another notch. Wow. So the two of us were doing stuff that we really didn't expect to get into.
Each day I knew we were doing something that might be very, exciting to watch. But putting the, mosaic tiles together one at a time was, intense and hard work. We worked hard at it. It was fun, but emotionally, it's you're fighting for your life, so you're kind of experiencing that out all the time. And physically this time we were hanging and crawling and struggling and wet and muddy. Oh, it was sloppy.
You guys spent a lot of time in the rain and in the mud.
We were all around the negativity.
If it wasn't raining, they'd find a way to get us wet anyway. I mean, it really was one of those things where you think like, hey, look, it's not raining today in the Lost World, and somebody go, I think you should enter from that stream over there, and somebody falls down. Yeah, you know. So there was always something. You were never. There were very few clean, dry days.
Come on, go, 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 go! Come on, keep going. Go, 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 go! Keep going. Come on, come on. In here. Go!
What was the most difficult part for you?
Probably the emotional scenes and the running scene in the long grass, because Jeff's legs are long, and I had to keep up with him. I had to do like leaps, and in one scene, in one take we were doing, he accidentally dropped me, and so I was at the bottom of the long grass, and everybody, Steven goes, "Cut, where's Vanessa?" And they're like, and Jeff's like, "Oh my gosh, I didn't even know I dropped her." And since the tall grass was kind of taller than me, they're like, "Where did she go?" I'm like, "I'm right here, I'm right here." And so they eventually found me. And also with the emotional scenes, because I couldn't just turn on the tears, I actually got really into it. And then I'd get a headache and everything, and have to ask for children's grape Tylenol, because I like that.
You know, we were like a bunch of kids. It was like a slumber party, you know, and I kept waiting for like someone's parent to come in and say, "If you kids can't keep quiet, I'm going to split you guys up," because we just joked around and played around the whole time. And I think it being about dinosaurs and using your imagination that way lent itself to us kind of acting like a bunch of geeks a lot of the time.
I love his last one. Okay, we got it. Fabulous. Hey, we got it. Hey.
Up next, find out how to bring these cuddly creatures into your own home.
My brother's gonna do all this like stuff, like have the dinosaur eat me and all that stuff, but you know, I don't care.
And see for yourself why this sequel is a step beyond its predecessor.
Yikes. These dinosaurs are absolutely eye-poppingly real.
As E continues our behind-the-scenes look at the Lost World Jurassic Park.
To the E special on the Lost World Jurassic Park. You know, they made some action figures of some of the kids that played the parts here in the Lost World. What I want to know is what happens when you go to the store and there's no action figures left. All of them are sold out. And then mine, maybe, the Nick Van Owen action figure, there's rows and rows of them and lots of action figures. And the one mom looking desperately says, "Oh, look, there is some left. There is some, Tommy. There is a Lost World action figure left. We have the video expert. We have Nick Van Owen." And then the kid says, "Nick Van Owen sucks. I don't want the Nick Van Owen doll. I wanted the other dolls." But anyway, this is my action figure here, Nick Van Owen. And some of the action figures look like the people in the movie, and others not so much.
Merchandising goes hand in hand with today's Hollywood blockbuster, so much so that the original Jurassic Park's merchandising revenue exceeded the film's nearly $1 billion worldwide box office intake. Now, its sequel, The Lost World, is projected to exceed that amount by at least 25%.
This isn't really me. Is it really? No, come on. Well, it looks a lot like me, don't you think?
Unlike most film roles, starring in The Lost World also means having a line of toys fashioned after your likeness. So how do these actors feel about being immortalized in plastic?
It's weird. I never thought I was going to be a little action figure. But once I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh! It's cool though.
It's actually more exciting than I anticipated. I mean, you really don't, you know, seeing all the stuff yesterday really brings you back to the way you felt when you played with toys, and you know, and how you kind of endowed them with personalities and stuff. So when you see yourself in miniature, it's really exciting, actually.
But most of my friends are probably going to get it, you know, "Hi, look, I'm Vanessa," and make fun of me and stuff. And my brother's going to do all this stuff, like have the dinosaur eat me and all that stuff.
I hope that they do, you know, play with the toys, and my feeling is, I mean, yeah, you know, if they want to eat her, whatever, that's fine.
And he showed me the storyboard, and I said, "Stephen, why am I wearing a hat?" And he goes, oh, when I first drew this up, my character was going to be the hero, right? So he had the Indiana Jones type hat, just because he would recognize in the storyboard which one was the hero, you see. So the whole sequence, all the other storyboards have me with no hat and no hair. And this storyboard looks like Indiana Jones. I mean, this doll looks like the original idea for that hero.
Toys are just the tip of the iceberg.
Promotional tie-ins are very important. I think we've assembled one of the world-class group of promotional partners in the history of entertainment marketing, from Burger King to General Mills to Hershey to Kodak to Mercedes-Benz to Timberland to JVC to Tropicana. These are world-class partners. And they'll be spending over $250 million in worldwide media promoting the Lost World franchise.
Board games, shoes, dolls, and frisbees are among the multitude of goodies for the younger kids to enjoy, but the Lost World franchise also has a toy for kids of all ages.
We started the conception of the website probably last September, so it's been about 8 months in full production. And how big is it? It's pretty big. I'd say it's at least probably 60 to 80 pages so far, and we're adding more. Something like The Lost World really lends itself to having a really great presence on the web, and to just throw up production notes or the standard multimedia page wouldn't, at least in my opinion, wouldn't do it justice. You really need to have an experience, because the movie in itself is a visual, oral, sensory experience, and the website needs to be just as entertaining.
Up ahead, we'll go behind the scenes with the men who've brought dinosaurs back to life.
Like Fantasia, Jack, were these really used to stop a bite?
When E's in-depth look at the making of the Lost World Jurassic Park continues.
I'm Vince Vaughn. Welcome back to the 1 hour special on the Lost World Jurassic Park. The Lost World is the first film that Steven Spielberg has directed since Schindler's List, which was 3 years ago. And given the response to Jurassic Park, the first of the series, there was a lot of expectations and curiosity about how the Lost World would turn out.
Mommy! Daddy, you've got to come see this! I found something!
More, bigger, and better. Lost World Jurassic Park will be more, bigger, and better.
What is it?
Mommy's very angry. We always sum this film up by saying it's about hunters versus gatherers.
I had always sort of wanted to do a sequel to Jurassic Park, because I thought that both by popular demand and also because I just had such a great time making the first film, but I kind of wanted to revisit the past a little bit.
Steven Spielberg, I'll tell you, he was certainly impassioned to, bypass sequel traps, and to really, if people were going to buy a ticket based on their interest in the first one, he wanted to give them something that was worthwhile and even exceed their expectations.
When you have something as exciting as Jurassic Park, and then to even discuss The Lost World, and okay, we're going to do it again, it's like, how do you top that?
Big fan of the first one?
I liked it. I like the dinosaurs, and that I'm a sucker for the for the action with the dinosaurs. I love it. And I think this one here has even more of it.
There are a lot more dinosaurs.
A lot more.
Oh my gosh, tons
There
more.
are tons more.
And they look a lot better. They look a lot better, a lot more features, and they look very realistic if they were real.
Special effects guys who won Oscars for their work the first time have taken leaps forward this time, and I think you're right, more than even the first time. These dinosaurs are absolutely eye-poppingly real.
The dinosaurs are much more realistic, and they play with their food a little bit more.
Played with their food, yes. No, well, yes, and specifically, they played around with me just a little bit. I'm not saying that I was food, but yeah, they're very generous with each other.
There's a grade school class in Piedmont in Northern California, 6th graders, and they all wrote, after the sequel was announced, they all wrote down what they thought should be in it. But whatever you do, don't have a long, boring part at the beginning that that has nothing to do with the island.
This year I'm getting paid. Hammond's check cleared. Or I wouldn't be going on this wild goose chase.
Where you're going is the only place in the world where the geese chase you.
It doesn't take very long to get into, stampedes and stuff. So that happens pretty quickly, and I think it's much faster than the first one. It's like a locomotive. I don't think I expected it all to be so seamless, but it was great because there's so much going on.
Hang on to something! Hang on to something!
You have more characters with different objectives, and kind of some interesting thoughts about, what is our role in nature and all those sorts of things.
This movie, I think, has a very kind of nurturing and healthy kind of message underlying, and has something to do with trusting in nature.
sick of scratching around in rock and bone and making deductions and assumptions about the nurturing habits of animals that died 65 million years ago.
Throwing in the kid, especially me, was really good.
As actors, do they feel any pressure starring in the sequel to a blockbuster like Jurassic Park?
The pressure's not on us, which is kind of great, because you come in to work on that movie, on that part, you know, very specifically and have that experience. And then whatever happens after that, you know, once you finish it, you've had your experience, and then you kind of, you know, walk away.
I never felt it really, you know, because I guess I felt included, and you know, my character was one where I felt like I didn't have any huge things to do that would require me to do something strange.
I don't feel any pressure as far as I'm going to ask my family to go, and I'm not going to, and everyone else is on their own.
A lot of people are dying to get in the theater and check it out. What can they expect this time that's maybe different or even bigger and better than the first one?
It's a faster paced, more suspenseful, funner ride.
It's a good ride.
It's a good ride, and I think it's because they have been through it once before.
I think you can expect a good time, you know, a good scary time.
The whole movie has more dinosaurs and more, like I say, unrelenting action in it.
More, bigger, and better.
And I think it'll be frightening beyond belief, probably more frightening than the first one, and thrilling and terrifying and fun in that kind of way.
Still ahead.
We have about 5 new dinosaurs.
E's behind-the-scenes look at the Lost World Jurassic Park continues.
And welcome back to the E! 1 Hour special on the Lost World. The writer of Jurassic Park and also of the Lost World, David Koepp, received a lot of letters, especially from children, regarding the dinosaurs in the original Jurassic Park. And when making the Lost World and writing it, he really incorporated a lot of the ideas that the kids had about what types of dinosaurs they liked, what they enjoyed seeing, and what they wanted to see, as well as throwing in some surprises of his own.
The questions about the first film were, show me the dinosaurs. You know, can they work? Can you make me believe that they're real? And it was answered so resoundingly in the affirmative on the first movie. But audiences' expectations and demands go up. You know, they're going to cough up their $8 and they want a little more. You can't just stand back and admire them anymore. What can they do? What kind of mischief can you get them in? And that's why we gave that self-conscious but funny line to Jeff Goldblum's character when he says,
"Oh yeah, ooh, ah, that's how it always starts. But then later there's running and screaming."
Before any of that could happen, though, director Steven Spielberg had to call upon creature effects master Stan Winston to ensure that his dinosaurs would merit screaming and running.
Steven would say, we want to build dinosaurs. You know, I want full-size dinosaurs. I mean, can you do that? I said, of course, absolutely. And he says, well, how will you do that? I said, I have no idea, but we'll figure it out. And that's the fun. We're constantly figuring it out. Any creature that we do starts initially with the artist, the concept artist, the two-dimensional drawing. Then from a two-dimensional drawing, it goes to sculpture, miniature, and from miniature to full size. And then when we have seen the creature full size, and as we are designing, we're figuring out how, in fact, it's going to perform, because the performance is the most important thing.
I got to work with real ones. Actually, the only 2 real dinosaurs that are, no, they were Stan Winston's creations, the 3-dimensional robotic dinosaurs, 2 gigantic ones. And they were very good to work with. They gave me a lot to work off of. They came like this. And they're big, and they're very heavy, and they're very alive, and they look very real. And they're good actors.
Stan has such an imagination about how to surprise you, how to mortify you, how to gross you out, how to make you smile. And in a sense, you know, he does make films within films. You know, we make a movie, but Stan makes his own movie inside of our films.
Unlike most of Winston's creatures, dinosaurs were once real, so paleontologist Jack Horner was brought in to see to it that every claw, tooth, and tail be as accurate as possible.
The neat thing about both of the films is that they really portray my work. I study dinosaur behavior, and of course we see a little bit of that in Jurassic Park, and then that's really the theme of The Lost World. And Julianne actually is, you know, she's quoting me through the movie, which is very nice. It's good to see it's good to see it all worked in.
Sick of scratching around in rock and bone and making deductions and assumptions about the nurturing habits of animals that died 65 million years ago.
But the science, we're always learning. We're always getting information about dinosaur behavior, and it is up to date in the movie.
What's nice about Jack is he just, like any teacher, you get him going on a subject and he'll just talk for a while. And sometimes when you're doing research, you don't know what you're looking for. You're just looking for ideas. And he's just throwing stuff out all the time, which is great.
Well, you never have to worry about the size of your dinosaurs. Everything is correct within.
Based on age.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good. Right. So that means our herd in that sequence there should be a variation in some of the size.
We'll vary as much as we can in terms of what you put in the computer.
Yeah,
that's what I would keep saying about everybody said, well, the Dilophosaur in the original was too small. I said, well, how old? Do you know how old it is? This is a young Dilophosaur. Yeah, come on.
Velociraptors.
Yeah.
I collected Velociraptors this last summer, out of the place where they come from,
They were bigger than ours,
and they are just about exactly the same size.
My job really is just to make sure that the dinosaurs look good, that they look accurate as we can make them, that that the dinosaurs aren't doing something that they couldn't do, and that of course the actors are pronouncing their words right, and we don't want the sixth graders writing in and telling people that they pronounced them wrong.
We have about 5 new dinosaurs in this movie. We've got the Packies, we've got these guys, we've got the Stegosaurus, by popular demand, by the way.
Really?
Yeah. Because of the fan mail for the first movie, so many kids said, I wish you had a Stegosaurus in the movie, and so we're giving the fans of this first film Stegosaurus.
The challenge of the job is to try and do something you haven't done before. If we were just doing what we did last time, it'd be quite boring. So we stray away from that. We use what we did last time, but we're always trying to break ground and do something that we haven't done before.
I was mostly interested in the babies because babies look different than adults. They have bigger eyes, and I mean they're kind of cute looking. And I wanted to make sure that came through.
I think the two movies bookend each other really well, and if there was going to be a third one, somebody would have to have a big idea first. But who knows? Maybe the dinosaurs run for elective office.
Coming up, the ride of your life.
It's like being in Jurassic Park.
Stay tuned.
I'm Vince Vaughn. Welcome back once again. I'm glad you keep coming back because we like you here. Let's take a walk down this way and finish up. We're right here in Universal Studios on the set of The Lost World, sequel to Jurassic Park. And although our time together is coming to an end, the fun isn't and never has to. After you see the movie and love it, big happy claps, enjoyable fun, you can come right here. There's nothing stopping you except for yourself to see the Lost World set in person and also enjoy the ride, the Jurassic Park Lost World Dinosaur fabulous fun ride. If you want to take it, it's open to the public.
This is about experiencing the story of Jurassic Park firsthand. So this is not something you sit and passively watch. This is something that happens to you.
This is what they call a fast ride over here, and a wet one.
It's so great. It's so great. You know, you go through the doors of Jurassic Park. It's like being in Jurassic Park, and you see very realistic dinosaurs.
Hey folks, how you doing? Heartman here at Jurassic Park, The Ride. Whoa, check it out. All right. Herbivores, right? Right? Herbivore, like to eat plants. Pose no threat to me. I'm not scared. You're a plant eater. I'm not frightened. Large and awkward, kind of like a big dog. He's a mischievous little one. Look at the tail. Splashing us. Look at this. Keith, check it out. We're fighting over the popcorn. This is nice.
Then things go wrong.
Oh, wait a second. Where are we going? This isn't the way we're supposed to go, is it? What's going on?
Station 6 to dispatch. The boat is off course.
The boat is off course.
If something happens in the park technologically and dinosaurs get loose.
Unauthorized entry.
What's going on?
Unauthorized entry.
This can't be good. Oh man, look at this guy. Oh man. What the heck is that thing? That's not supposed to be here.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, please do not panic. We'll get Art back on the line. But right now, we'll take some testimonials.
Things happen to you that don't happen to you. I was going to say that don't happen to you on Hollywood Boulevard. People's hats are floating in the water.
Oh, it was great. It was really exciting and scary and a lot of fun.
It was incredible. That drop right there is the whole ride. It doesn't disappoint you.
I've been on the ride. I just conveniently get off before I go 85 feet down to my soaking, depths.
I'm soaked. It's a water ride. We're just...
Big, huge drop. We had to sit in the front.
Yeah,
Lucky us.
They made us sit in the front. Front row, guys. Front row to the left.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're getting our picture back with Art. Let's see if he's all right. Wait a minute. Oh no!
Hey, the heck? The big question is, where's Laura Dern when you need her? Where are we going? The heck kind of boat ride goes uphill? What's going on here? I don't think this was planned. Oh man. Meat eaters everywhere. Ah! Uh-oh. No! No! Mommy! Mommy! Ah! I did it! I did it, no hands! I did it, no hands! I'm so proud of myself. Whew. I really feel like I just went to Jurassic Park, something went wrong, and then I escaped. Kind of lived the movie. So I guess this would be the end.
Thank you so much for spending this last hour with me here at Universal Studios on the set of The Lost World, the sequel to Jurassic Park. I hope you enjoyed our time with us. I know we loved having you. Don't tell anyone you came in. And we will talk to you soon. We will talk to you soon. And please go and enjoy the film, The Lost World. I think you'll like it if you see it live. And until then, stay nice to yourself, stay nice to your friends, and turn that frown upside down. Stay tuned-y. Stay tuned-y. Stay tuned-y.
But just say one thing, because I want to hear it one more time before you leave. I want you to say, welcome to Jurassic Park. I want to hear that once. I just got it's my own pleasure. It's an indulgence.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
I just want to hear that again.
No lo crea. Cuando estrenaron My Best Friend's Wedding, todo el mundo dio por seguro la nominación de Rupert Everett como mejor actor de reparto. Y no fue así. Lo mismo sucedió con el magistral film de Ang Lee, Ice Storm, con Sigourney Weaver convertida en una verdadera tormenta de hielo. Idéntico desplante sufrió Quentin Tarantino, cuyo nuevo desafío, Jackie Brown, no convenció ni a la academia ni al público. Bye bye, Oscars.